Automotive service is at an inflection point. Consumers are squeezed harder each year for their discretionary dollars, and they don't know enough about their vehicles to determine whether the pricey repair the shops present is a must do or a could should do. The vehicle owner brings the vehicle into the shop, hands over the keys, and heads into the waiting area for coffee, waiting to receive feedback on the car's condition, much like a medical procedure. But what exactly the process goes through and what exactly is your vehicle going through, we are very pretty much unsure about that. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Analytics Insight podcast, where we talk about the ever evolving tech space. And I'm your host, Priya Dialani. For auto maintenance and repair companies, artificial intelligence offers a unique opportunity to transform their business models. Beyond streamlining operations, organizations can use these advances to introduce predictive capabilities that reduce downtime, optimize resources, and set new service standards for consumers. This shift empowers them to deliver proactive, data driven services that meet modern demands and strengthen customer loyalty. Joining us today is Vijay Gummadi, CEO of Autorox, to talk about emerging technologies that are fundamentally reshaping how vehicles are repaired, serviced, and managed. Hi, Vijay, how are you doing?
Hi, Priya. Good to be on the show. Thank you very much for having me.
Glad. Likewise, we're really glad to have you on our podcast today, Vijay. And I think when we talk about automotive sector, I think we have been seeing a lot of discussions and new opportunities as to how they are transforming the entire landscape. And with the autonomous vehicles coming into picture, what exactly, or how the repairing and services part can be handled when leveraged AI and other technologies. So let's start our discussion today by telling our listeners more about Autorox. I'm sure they're eager to understand more about the company and specialization.
Yeah, Priya. So the journey started a long time ago, and it started actually because of my interest with cars and code. These are two skills that I have, which is the ability to repair cars and write code. But I returned from the US around 2010 to set up a chain of auto repair shops called Cars. So we'd set up a network of independently owned and operated auto repair shops across South India with the objective that we wanted to build workshop network that placed itself between the OEM dealer and the local mechanic, right? So the quality of the OEM dealer and the convenience of the local mechanic, that was the goal, right? So we set up this network cars, and actually to in the process of building out this geographically dispersed network, I realized that to deliver the quality of differentiated service that car owners were looking for, we needed good technology, and that would be the strongest enabler in bringing trust and transparency into the auto repair process. So initially, the idea for Autorox evolved within our own repair shop network, and I started building out Autorox as a repair shop management system for a geographically dispersed network. Very quickly in that process, I realized that to bring trust and transparency into the process, it is required that I bring in the other constituents of the auto repair ecosystem also, who are the car owners, the repair shops, insurance companies, fleet operators, and the spare supply network, right? These are the other constituents that impact the repair and maintenance process. So we started expanding the initial repair shop management system to become an ecosystem solution. And today we may be, among the very, very few companies globally that provide ecosystem solutions for auto repair, connecting all of these various constituents digitally. Why this is important is traditionally all of these constituents have either been non-digital, or if they have adopted digital, for example, insurance companies, the adoption of tech has been mostly internal to their organizations, right? So connecting them to the external entities beyond their organizations has not happened at scale in the auto repair and maintenance sector. And so the role that we are playing today is to bring connectivity to an otherwise highly fragmented ecosystem. That's a brief of the journey and how we evolved to where we've gotten to today.
Quite an interesting journey, Vijay, and thank you for that overview. It really helps set the context for our listeners, and I think I'm really glad to understand how Autorox isn't just operating within the industry, but it's actively shaping how innovation and problem solving are together evolving in this space. Moving ahead, Vijay, you mentioned about your passion for fixing engines in early days, and you grew into a career, I think, reimagining one of the most broken industries in the world, that is auto repair. So we are very keen to know what exactly is your role at the company today.
We primarily work with repair shops, and the idea is that, see, within the automotive, there are the dealer networks which primarily work with OEMs, and then there's everything else which happens after the car is sold, and broadly that is classified as the auto aftermarket, right? So for the dealers, they are provided systems by the car companies or the OEMs themselves. They have a defined SOP and a process and a methodology for how the repair should be executed. Now, when it comes to the independent repair shop network that is not affiliated to any OEM, that is where the challenges are. And why that is an important challenge to solve is, even in India, if you look at the number of independent repair shops versus OEM repair shops, it is something over 5x number of repair shops compared to the dealer network, which means that the aftermarket or the independent repair shop network repairs significantly higher volume of cars than the dealer network. And that is because post warranty, majority of the customers are looking for quality and they also want savings. And those are looking for those two, they end up at independent repair shops. Now, the independent repair shop segment is highly fragmented. They do not have defined SOPs and procedures. They don't have quality systems. They don't have easy to use technology, and then they don't have customer interfaces. So when all of these are missing and they are non-digital, it's very, very difficult for them to deliver the kind of experience that their customers are looking for them. And their customers are basically car owners like us who are looking for reliable, trusted options for repair and maintenance of vehicles, right? That is the problem that we are solving, which is millions of repair transactions that lack trust and transparency. We see our purpose as enabling that trust and transparency for every repair that is happening globally at an independent repair shop, right? Also, this challenge with lack of trust and transparency in the repair process is a global problem. This is a significantly unsolved problem pretty much everywhere in the world, right? And when we talk about trust and transparency, even you mentioned it at the start of the podcast, very simply said, it can basically be distilled down to a few things, which is, when you walk into a repair shop, your expectation is that your car will be inspected properly and you will be given an estimate of the time and the money that it is going to cost, right? Then you are going to be informed about your service on a regular basis, that is, updates on your service. If something changes, the expectation is that you will be told about the impact on the cost or time. and your car will be delivered when it is said that it will be done, right? Apart from that, you should also be comfortable that the services that the repair shop said they would do, all of those services are done, and all of the parts that they said they would replace, that all of those parts have indeed been replaced with the same quality that you are expecting, right? So these are fairly simple and correct expectations from car owners, which, due to the lack of digital connectivity and fragmentation in the repair shop network, the repairers are unable to deliver to the modern customer, many of whom are also digitally savvy, right? So that's the solution, that is the need of the hour, and that is why solving this problem for the millions of repair transactions that happen globally, this is why it is a significant problem to solve. And that's what Autorox is about.
Absolutely, Vijay. And, I'm sure your role goes far beyond just operational leadership. And, it's really important how you're not only driving business outcomes, but also shaping the broader strategic direction of the organization. So, you mentioned about, the automotive aftermarket, the repair and service, a vertical is very traditional and very fragmented manual. And if you consider India's automotive market, I think we are still lagging behind in terms of adopting new technologies that can speed up the process and ensure that we are delivering quality service and repairs. And I think day by day, the automotive industry is also transforming with advancements like EVs and autonomous driving, and that's creating a demand for more sophisticated systems. So, and now we have Gen AI. It is becoming a very core tool for navigating the new challenges and opportunities. And that way, I think AI is already making a noticeable impact on the automotive businesses. So, India's aftermarket has traditionally been very fragmented and manual. So, how do you think AI-driven automation is changing the way workshops operate today?
Thanks, Priya. That's an excellent question, particularly with the evolution of AI. The way that we think of AI, or we've always thought about technology, is that it must be an enabler of a system or a process, and it must be able to deliver the desired outcomes, and it should not be implemented just for the heck of it, right? So in our case, the biggest challenge that we have is digital adoption. I guess that is also the challenge in many other industries in India and globally. How do you effectively drive digital adoption? And the challenges in digital adoption itself are with the users and how they want to interact with the systems. So, if the systems are designed to be complex, the chance of driving digital adoption is minimized, right? So you're thinking about complex data entry screens, or multiple steps in a process, or a lot of things that the user has to do offline before they can actually start interacting with the platform. Now, the way that we think about AI is, what are the areas within auto repair and maintenance that we can simplify and pre-process such information to make it easy for, let's say, the repair shop to do what they do best, which is the auto repair and maintenance. So given that they are good with auto repair and maintenance, what are all the other systems and processes that we can simplify and we can prepare and keep ready, so that they can focus on their core skill. So it also related to, how do we make their interaction with the system, how do we reduce data entry? And now, in all of to facilitate all of this, we have identified five core areas within auto repair and maintenance where we feel that AI has tremendous applications. A simple example would be in, let's say, area of customer communication, providing updates depending on, let's say, changes in part availability, or let's say technician availability. The second would be in any kind of resource planning, which might be allocation of technicians, that is the right technician for the right activity based on their skill, based on their availability, based on bay availability. So how do we use those constraints to allow the repair shop to plan accordingly? The third is in inventory management, and then facilitating the entire process right from, let's say, if a car owner comes into a repair shop and says, there is a metallic cranking noise from the front area of the car. That is the voice of the customer. How do we take that voice of the customer and effectively translate it into a set of diagnostics that now technician can start working on, understand each of the diagnostic steps very easily, and then be able to come back and say, I have looked at all the steps that you have given me, and I find that the problem is in these one or two areas. And the moment they pick on that area, we are then able to go in and say, okay, if this is a specific problem that you have identified, this is the list of parts and services that are required to effectively repair this vehicle, right? So we've already built a number of such AI models based on our understanding of the space, as well as the huge volumes of data that we have collected by enabling thousands of repair shops on our platform. So today we are able to seamlessly go, one of our key products is what we call a service advisor AI, and that beautifully translates the voice of a customer into what are the parts that the repair shop needs to buy to conduct that service, as well as what are the steps that the technician should take to complete the repair and maintenance. And like you said, as cars are becoming more complex and we are moving towards EVs, it is imperative that repair shops must upgrade themselves. And that's also the expectation of the digital native customers that today are owners of, like the EVs. And unless they upgrade and work with modern systems like this, it is going to become very challenging for them to continue to do repair and maintenance. So these are areas that we are effectively working on, and we already have a number of AI-based solutions to enable this process.
Definitely, Vijay. And I think with what you have shared, I think AI is not just digitizing workshops, but it is fundamentally redefining how they can function with regards to their daily operations. And I think with AI-driven automation, we can see a shift from, traditional manual diagnostics to a more data-led decision making and far more standardized operations. And
Correct.
I think beyond just efficiency, I think with AI coming into picture, workshops themselves are evolving from being just purely repair centers to becoming more intelligent service hubs where they can effectively analyze and anticipate vehicle needs and deliver a more transparent customer service.
Correct. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And just like, you mentioned the different ways that AI-driven automation can change the entire process. I think, with connected cars or software-defined vehicles, I think they're more like a trending topic in the automotive industry these days. Because in this context, I think the role of cloud becomes very vital in delivering a flawless connected experience via over-the-air OTA updates. Now, the next question is again with regards to India. It has millions of small and mid-sized workshops. How do you think cloud or mobile-first platforms can help these players, into a modern connected ecosystem?
Again, excellent question, Priya. So, in specifically with regard to connected cars, today majority of the technology that exists is between the vehicle and the OEM itself, that is the manufacturer of the car. right? And through the manufacturer of the car, the data of the vehicle is accessible to the dealer network. And such information on the vehicle is not accessible to the auto aftermarket. Actually, this is not only the case in India, even in many other parts of the world. This is a serious debate between OEMs and the auto aftermarket about enabling access to such data for all the players in the ecosystem. Now, there are some valid concerns around that in terms of whether it is security or whether the aftermarket is ready to be able to conduct such repairs and maintenance on modern vehicles. That's a different topic for another day, right? Now, specifically on your question about the importance of cloud to enable fragmented networks to take off, I think that's the part that I will focus on for today, right? So, when these today, each one of these repair shops, they operate in silos, and because of that, they face a lot of hardships. So, for example, first it starts with, can they perform their own activities seamlessly by digitally connecting their own constituents who are their customers and their partners, like insurance companies or the spare suppliers. Today, all of those processes are broken, and just at a unit level, each repair shop operates in fragmentation with the customers and the business partners that they interact with. Now, when you take this to a network level, right, it is utter chaos, and they are not benefiting from any of the network effects that would come from connectivity. A simple example would be, if we look at how Swiggy or Zomato have transformed the food industry in India, right? We can, in the comfort of our home or office, simply using a mobile phone, order the choicest of the food, and then be able to track that food all the way through the delivery down to every minute. That kind of capability only comes from good connectivity between the various participants of the repair ecosystem, right? So, an example of how that connectivity is enabled by cloud is, let's say that a car owner like us wants to get their car serviced. The first thing that we would do is, if there were an app available like a Swiggy or a Zomato, we would possibly download that app and then say, this is the point where my car is right now, and I'm looking for, let's say, Skoda Octavia. I need a service for, there's a noise from the frontal area, and then I need periodic maintenance, for example. So the first activity I would do is basically discovery of the right repair shop, right? Today, without having all the repair shops on one platform, the very act of identifying the right repair shop itself cannot happen, right? So from that point, every interaction that happens between the car owner and the repair shop, and the repair shop and its partners, every one of those is broken because they are all not part of one connected ecosystem. They are all not part of a cloud infrastructure. So in order to deliver a Swiggy style experience in auto repair, it is imperative that all of these ecosystem players have to be on a connected cloud infrastructure, so that the basic things that a customer is looking for, that is a car owner is looking for, which are, tell me when my car is going to be served, by when my car is ready and it will be serviced to my satisfaction, and tell me how much it is going to cost upfront, and keep me informed of updates from time to time. Simply, if we need to be able to enable these three responses to a car owner in real time, that means that a car owner should be connected to repair shops should be connected to an insurance company and to a spare part supplier. and information must be seamlessly flowing between all of these constituents of the repair ecosystem so that the car owner gets the simple 3 points that they are looking for, right? So critically, all of this can only be achieved if we have a robust connected cloud infrastructure. And that's what we are working on at Autorox. We have already built out such ecosystems. And in India today, we are possibly the largest network of digitally enabled repair shops. And now we are marching ahead towards creating a Swiggy or a Zomato style experience in auto repair and maintenance because we are building out that cloud connected infra.
Very well said, Vijay. And I think, we're witnessing a shift where technology is meeting businesses where they already are, on mobile devices, with intuitive platforms that don't require heavy infrastructure or large IT teams. So this lowers the barrier to digital adoption significantly and allows even small workshops to participate in connected supply chains, real-time
Right.
tracking, and even data-driven decision making. So, and I think when these small and mid-size players become digitally connected, the entire value chain becomes more transparent, more predictable, and even far more resilient. So, I
Yeah.
think in many ways, modernization is no longer top-down. I think it's also happening from grassroots level upward, specifically in our scenario that we discussed.
Right.
Um,
Yes, you're right.
yeah, and with all of the industries, if you consider automotive industry has also undergone significant transformation, particularly driven by technological advancement. And as long as, we are also witnessing increasing vehicle complexities, but AI and other technologies are, giving us certain benefits that we can enjoy and also enjoy some intangible service quality in terms of the aftermarket of automotive industry. So, can AI help standardize service quality across, highly unorganized ecosystem without stripping workshops of the flexibility that they already have? And how do you think, in the future, do you think a self-optimizing workshop would be something that we would be able to see in India?
Yeah, broadly, Priya, I have a very optimistic view of how things will evolve in India and across the world, right? So, with regard to will AI help build a self-optimizing workshop? It's an interesting view, not one that I thought of from that angle, but yes, it is interesting possibility. Now, if we were to visualize how this might work and then how we are putting together bits and pieces of this ecosystem to build a workshop that is highly tech enabled without stripping the flexibility that repair shops have today, right? It basically translates into what are the steps in the auto repair and maintenance, and what are the interfaces between the car owner and the repair shop, then interfaces internal to the repair shop or processes internal to the repair shop, and then its interactions with the external world, which is their suppliers and partners, right? So let's say that today, to visualize what this means, let's say that today a car comes into a repair shop, and when it comes into the repair shop, let's visualize that there is one bay that the car would drive into, and at that bay it is there are cameras, and the cameras, as the car comes in, the cameras capture the photographs or videos of the vehicle, and from merely that act we are able to identify a number of things, right? So first is we get the vehicle registration number, and from the vehicle registration number, we go off to, let's say, the Road Transport Authority to retrieve vehicle data such as make, model, variant, year, VIN number, everything that is required to perform the right service on the vehicle. Second is to be able to inspect all external damages to the vehicle. and then use that to, let's say, identify what may be collision repair services that need to be done. The third would be being able to look at tire condition. So you know what are the tires that are fitted on the vehicle, what's the condition of the tires, and do they need any replacements or service at the current point. The fourth would be to, look at the odometer and be able to identify what are the services that are to be done on the vehicle depending on the odometer. Now, from there, just based on the few examples that I've given you, it would be easy to visualize how now we have just stripped away a lot of the actions that today are manual and error prone, and then translated that digitally to say, okay, now we have the data. We are going to use AI and that data to be able to streamline all the subsequent processes, including optimization of resource utilization, automatic ordering of spare parts, communication to the customer, updation to, let's say, an insurance company on what might be the damages to the vehicle and the claims. And in all of this, we are bringing trust and transparency through the entire auto repair ecosystem. So, to come back to the point you were making, yes, it is absolutely possible to build a optimized repair shop network using AI without stripping away the flexibility that they look for. And in all of this, if we are able to simplify their work and help them grow and thrive, the question is then why would somebody not use modern technology, provided that it is easy to use?
Definitely, and that what's fascinating about this perspective is how it reframes a workshop from being a purely physical production space into something far more intelligent and adaptive. And I think I mean, when we're talking about a self-optimizing workshop or an environment, I think it doesn't just change machines; it's changing the self decision making itself, moving teams from experience led intuition to a more data backed confidence. And that's a very significant mindset shift for industries that have traditionally relied on manual expertise, that has been built over decades. And I think perhaps the bigger story here isn't just about automation, it's more about autonomy. And we are moving towards system that don't just execute instructions but actively improve outcomes over time. And I think that's a really great point that you shared with us, Vijay. And I think the future of automotive services is not just about adapting to technological change, it's more about driving it. Thank you so much,
Right.
Vijay, for your time and efforts to be on our podcast today and helping us understand that the industry today needs digital solutions that can help workshops simplify complex environment, without any specific stakeholder requirement or any fast changing requirements. I think technology can help workshops and automakers succeed with changing end customer buying and usage behavior. Thank you so much for your insights. It was lovely chatting with you, Vijay.
Yeah, thank you, Priya. Thank you for the excellent questions. And in many of those areas, you articulated extremely well. And that got me to think whether, I'm the one digitizing the auto repair space or you are doing it. Your questions were that well timed and appropriately placed, and the responses accurately summarized. So thank you very much for an excellent conversation and for giving us that opportunity to make our story heard.
Thank you so much, Vijay. It was lovely talking to you. And this is for our listeners. I hope you enjoy today's discussion around how the future of automotive repair will be shaped by AI, and we will see a future that's more accessible, inclusive, and a more intelligent, I would say. You can view all our previous episodes on Spotify and other leading platforms. Stay tuned for our upcoming episodes. Thank you so much.